Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I'm a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on July 17th, 2022 at approximately 6:09 p.m. PST. Well, like I said, it was time to get things sorted around and moving in the right direction. And the reality of it is this. If you desire your life to get better, if you desire society to get better, then frankly, it is really way past time that we start actually looking at things from a positive perspective. Now, I did this once before, and in all fairness, this is the only way I know how to do it. Now, to start with, I returned to this world for one reason and one primary reason and one primary reason only. And that is to bring a very simple message back. Okay, to everyone, virtually everyone in existence. Okay, and that is that working together, we can make this a better world for everybody and for virtually everybody. The kicker to it is this: in order to do things correctly, okay, and effectively, you have to make the decision that you're going to change your life. You're going to pick a goal. Now, I did this before, and this is the only way I know how to do it. Okay, I don't use people's names very often. And I'm going to have to apologize ahead of time, okay, for what I'm about to do, because I end up mispronouncing names on a regular basis. Okay, heck, if I didn't know my own name, I'd probably mispronounce it too. But when you get a goal in your mind, now I've talked a lot about me picking a goal for me, to give you an example. Well, I'm going to point something out here. Okay, now I am not in good shape. Okay, I'm in a lot better shape than I was 15 years ago, even. Okay, I haven't been in this good a shape since I was 15. But this T-shirt that I'm wearing here, okay, I am not in the position that I desire to be in myself financially yet. But as you can see, this T-shirt here, okay, Sweet Maria. This is a lass that I know that has spent 10 years of her life. She picked a goal when she was just a young lass. Okay, she has spent 10 years of her life dedicating on virtually all of her spare time, bypassing a lot of the distractions that many people go through. Okay, she decided, I desire to begin to become a professional MMA fighter. Well, for the first time, as far as I'm aware, for the first time in her life, she is now down on the stage. She just arrived down in Denver. Okay, to get into the big leagues, to really break into that field. Now, this is 10 years of sitting back, of watching the field, doing all the necessary sacrifice, all the necessary training. Okay, this is what dedication can do. Now, once I have an idea of when she is going to be fighting, I am going to post it, because much as I would love to be able to afford to give her finances to help with her finances to get down there, I was not in a position to do so. What I am in a position to do is pass on a little bit of info, a little bit of insight into where she is. Now, did I ask her about it? No, so I'm probably overstepping boundaries. Okay, but I'll tell you, if you want to see what dedication can do for your life, she is one to watch. Now, I have told you, okay, I have mentioned this to people on a regular basis. Okay, this book I wrote when I started writing when I was 15. Okay, so here I am. Here I am. I'm 59 years old, and the stories are coming out. Okay, now, fortunately, Maria, and I hope that I am going to pronounce this correctly. Okay, I believe it's pronounced, and I'm going to apologize ahead of time. I believe her last name is Jukic. Okay, now, the reality of it is that's probably a butcher job on her last name. The important factor is that she is going to be fighting in the very near future. She's down in Denver now, just arrived. Okay, just arrived safely. And like I said, I do not use people's names very often. Okay, I've only used one other person's name on a regular basis aside from my own. Okay, but if you've got a goal, even if you've had to put it on hold for a little while, I know of a couple of people that have started writing and got told, "Oh, your book isn't good enough." Okay, that's just the reality is there are, as far as I recall, about 7.9 billion people on the planet. Okay, somebody's going to like your writing. Now, granted, it's a difficult field. And like Maria has found, there is a lot of competition. It takes not just talent, it takes dedication to get where you're headed, to get where you're aiming for. Now, I just put my seventh book in print. Okay, and I have to really, and I'm going to clear this up with her tonight. There's a couple of things that I've got to bounce off Maria. Yes, I do know her, and the whole catch to it from my end is this: I've met her now, but I have full confidence that she is going to end up, and this is probably overstating it from some people's standpoint. Maria's got this desire to become the top of the totem pole, just like Ronda Rousey did. Okay, and just like when it comes to writing, I intend on making my own headway, making my own name in the world. Okay, I would love to see the Yldrbac Chronicles brought into a movie position, but I'm finding out really neat things about the industries. First and foremost, you have to know what you're doing. Okay, you have to understand every aspect of your industry. You don't have to be great at it. Okay, I mean, the reality is when we take a look at dedication, pick a goal that you desire to attain, okay, that you desire to reach. Now, I've turned around and said, okay, here's where my finances are. This is the markers. And like I said, you mark your current balances down at the beginning of the month, and then you do not, once you break that air, once you start getting ahead, keep moving the barrier up beneath and below you. Okay. Like now, I'm gonna walk across here. Where did I put my eyeballs? Right there. Yeah, I'm moving around a bit. Not because I want you to see the way I look, because quite frankly, I'm not impressed. Okay. Everything you do, everything, pick a goal and really take a look at it. Okay. Pick a goal that you desire to attain. Now, I'm sitting at a point now where I am going to push the limits. I'm going to make the books pay off. I'm going to take my finances and make them climb. And the trick to doing that, just like Maria, she decided to become the best of the best. Now, the funniest part about that, okay, she's aiming for the top of the totem pole. And frankly, I have every faith that she is actually going to get there. Would I get into a fight with anybody? Absolutely not. Okay, I mean, the reality is I happen to be a pacifist. Don't ask. I think I'm sitting on my phone. No, apparently not. So I don't know what I did with that. There it is. Anyway, myself, as a personal issue, I do not like fighting. I don't even like verbal conflict. Okay, but with regards to somebody like Maria, she has gone and said, I'm enjoying this industry. I'm enjoying the dedication, the work, the physical side of it. Absolutely. Am I 100% behind her doing so? The answer is yes. Will I do what I can to assist her? And the only thing I can do is, in all fairness, is offer encouragement, much like I've received from many of you guys. Okay, guys and gals. I've received a staggering amount of encouragement to stay working in this field, to continue putting out information, to continue answering questions. Okay, I'm telling you, I would love to see a lot more support for Maria. Okay, now, what I'm hoping is going to happen And because I'm going to be sending this link forward to her for that very specific reason. Okay, because if I can help her get the visibility she requires, am I looking for money out of it? Absolutely not. What I'm looking for is a young lass that has dedicated the last 10 years of her life. Okay, and in all fairness, okay, that's a staggering commitment, especially when you think that her age is not commensurate with her dedication. Okay, to pick a goal that early, if I had picked my goal of getting all of this published, and like I've got my 7th book in print now, if I had dedicated myself to that kind of writing, I would have been, an internationally selling author. What? I would have been 15-ish there. So I'd have probably been that way 25 years ago. Okay. Okay, I'd have likely already gotten to that point, meaning today, much like Stephen King, John Grisham, some of these phenomenal authors. Okay. Much like them, I would have been at the top of my game. Did I have the dedication that Maria's got? Absolutely not. Do I hope to sometime emulate or replicate that kind of dedication to my own goals? Honestly, I really do. Okay, and as soon as I've got the information from Maria as far as when she's going to be dedicating, I will post it on my media and pass on the word, and hopefully you'll drop in to watch her. Now, the odds of my watching her on TV are pretty limited. I don't have cable, and I've got no intention on getting it. Okay. Will I continue to push to support her, even if she does not make every goal she's aiming for as quick as she'd like? Okay, the answer is yeah, I will. And here's why. You do not look at somebody and go, when are they going to fall? Okay, right now she is undefeated, and with just a little bit of luck and a whole lot of effort, and she's got the capacity to do it. Okay, she can still remain undefeated for who knows how long. Now, the funny thing is, unlike the WWE where it's all choreographed, okay, the MMA is not. Meaning, if you're the best of the best, it's because you are that good. Now, the reality is, in the short time I've known her, like I've only known Maria now for 2 years, I think. Might be going on 3. I don't know. Time and I don't get along. But in that short period that I've come to know her, her dedication is absolutely mind-boggling. Okay. Now, from my standpoint, it's a pretty simple issue. Okay, she's got the dedication. From my standpoint, yeah, I know exactly where I'm standing now. Of course, the sad part is, here I am, 59 years old. Okay, I know what I'm looking for. I know how to take my finances and get myself to the top of the game. And the trick to that is literally, I've got everything written down now. And now I just focus on and go, I'm not dropping below that. Period. It's just not going to happen. Okay, so what I'm doing first of all is I look at the balances I've got. Okay, and right now I've got 3 accounts. Well, if you count PayPal and my Canadian Tire card, okay, I've got half of the balances where. Okay, we'll try that in English. Okay, I've got out of the 3 bank accounts, only one is where I desire it to be, but I know where I'm starting. Okay, I've got 3 other accounts: my savings account, my bank card or my credit card, and my PayPal account. All of these have a definite balance in them, and all of them I will now be starting effective right now. Actually, effective yesterday. Okay, no, can't say effective yesterday, but effective right now. I will be taking those balances and constantly pushing them up. So every time I go above it a little, like right now, to give you an absolute number, okay, right now, can't give you an absolute, but I'm sitting approximately $300 above the break line, the bottom line for where I started at the beginning of this month on one account. I will not be spending more than that to bring it under that level, but I will keep moving it up. Okay, for you to get your finances turned around. Doesn't matter where you're standing, doesn't matter who you are. You can be a pauper or a millionaire. This will work. Okay. And what you do is you look at the bottom dollar and you go, there's where I'm standing. Draw a concrete line there and go, I'm not going below it. And then start building. And every time you add a little bit of money, like let's say you add only $1 to that account. The moment you do, bring the bottom of it up to bring it up by 50 cents. And here's why. Right now, you may be living fine. But what happens if something changes? Are you prepared to handle your retirement without government backup? Because in case you hadn't noticed, there are way more of us hitting retirement age than what there are that are still working. Now, you take somebody like Maria. Okay, she's young. She does not, I'll tell you, her looks are not commensurate, are not normal in her industry. At least not from what I've seen. Now, I'm not a big sports fan watcher, but I will tell you this: most women that I see in competitive sports, they have a very muscle-bound physique. They look, and it's a great look for them. They look very, very fit, very solid. Okay. Maria is a mind-boggling picture because she doesn't look like she's muscle-bound. She looks like she's in good shape. But for her to be undefeated, you got to give the young lass a pat on the back. Okay. For you, your finances may not be great, but I will tell you this: the money doesn't care what you feel and what you think. It doesn't care what you feel like. Okay, if you've got $1 million in the bank and it goes up by $1, move your bottom level up by 50 cents. And the reason for that is to keep pushing yourself higher and higher up that mountain to where you are independent. Okay. Now, I mentioned this the other day. Okay. On my live feed a couple of days ago. Like on my live feed was yesterday. Okay. And I will be back next Saturday at 8 a.m. from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific time to do another live feed. Okay. But this neat little book here, like I said, I am aiming wholeheartedly to get my books into proper publication where I'm actually generating an income from them. Okay. Now, these can only at this point be ordered through me. But as I have told people, I've started calculating it now. I've started tracking it now. Okay. If you have bought one of these books, okay, and you've let people know or one of the other books, I've got 7 in print right now. I've actually got a website that will be going up as soon as possible. It's already been put in motion. And I will be finding out about it this week, about what is going on with it. Of course, in all fairness, I only locked it into place on Friday. Like, as in 2 days ago. So with that in mind, I'm not expecting absolute miracles. I am absolutely demanding perfection. In other words, I desire this to do what I'm aiming for. I'm not interested in the excuses, and I certainly don't appreciate when one company I was working with, and still am for the moment, when they turned around and tried blaming me for their screw-up. I do not tolerate that. I don't accept it in the slightest. If you're going to claim to do something, absolutely do it. Okay. Now, I wonder if I've got it right here. This is one of the neat little things about having a computer right at hand. What is that? YouTube television. Nope. That's not it. I don't feel like tracking down right now because I have to go hunting for it. Anyway, take a look at where your life is. Are you content with it? Now, for me, it's real simple. I'm aiming to get my books into mass production. I am looking now, actively looking, for somebody with proper distribution capabilities. Okay, somebody that can actually put me in the right place to drop the cost of delivery. Because I'll tell you, when I take a look at this book, okay, it costs a lot to put them together. The sad part is it costs almost half again to ship it. This is why right now, when you take a look at the books, if I'm selling them local, right, I can get away with selling the books and still making a profit at it. And yeah, there is no question I am aiming at making a profit. Okay, there is absolutely no question there at all. But just like with everything, when people say, "Oh, I'm going to run a nonprofit organization," I'll tell you that's garbage. Okay, nobody goes into business that I've ever heard of, okay, that does it for no profit. If you're not making profit, you are not going to stay in business. Even if it's a nonprofit or even if it's a low tax issue, the whole 9 yards. Because there is such a nasty thing as inflation. So unless you happen to be independently wealthy and don't mind losing money or running a company as a loss leader, you got to look at it from a profit standpoint. Well, I guess you technically don't have to. I do. I look at it going, I'm in this to make to make a living at it, where this is all I intend to be doing. Now, one day I will have the money to be able to list myself as one of Maria's official sponsors. Okay, this is one of my own personal goals. Okay, in case you hadn't noticed, I'm quite happy about this setup. Okay, and I do encourage people, as soon as I've got links, I will, once I get them from her, from Maria, assuming she agrees, which is really kind of a comical setup. Because I'm doing this just because of the fact that I firmly believe she is capable of going to the top. She's got the drive to do it. Okay, now I took a look at my career, at my idea of becoming a professional author. Okay, and I looked at one individual prior, and that was a chap by the name of Colonel Sanders, who, to my understanding, opened his first chicken stand at age 65. Okay, 4 months later, he closed the doors, from what I gather, because the people wouldn't do things exactly his way. Okay, and that being said, when you look at that, he now is a household name. Now, if you're not certain who Colonel Sanders are, I'm pretty certain you're aware of either Kentucky Fried Chicken or KFC. Okay, now in my case, I'm looking at getting my books all into print. Okay, now Maria herself is aiming at getting at the top, and you can bet your bottom dollar she's looking at making a living at it. Okay, you don't go into this industry looking to just kind of play at it. Okay, she's looking to hit the big leagues, and frankly, I have every intention. It's been a real challenge trying to actually get her to accept money to help her, which gives you an idea. This is a woman that has phenomenal dedication and this funny idea that she's got to do it on her own. But I'm telling you, when we work together, okay, when people put their efforts together, you can make this a better world, but it's going to require effort. If you've only got, I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, I think. I know I mentioned it. It's a time thing I have a problem with. Okay. If bread costs you $2 to buy a loaf, and you've only got $1, and your neighbor only has $1, you can't go into the store and go, look, I've only got $1. Can I get some bread? You're just not going to go that way. But if the two of you put your money together, okay, you can go in, buy a loaf of bread together, and split that loaf in half. It's not much, but every little bit will help. Okay, and one way or another, and it may well turn out to be me being more stubborn than Maria is, but I am going to pull the finances together to be able to actually list myself as one of her sponsors. Okay. And yes, I am going to send this link to her quite intentionally. Okay. Because quite frankly, this is the only functional way I know of supporting her in a bigger way than just when I do get to see her in town. To go, hey, congratulations, well done, keep pushing. I can see where you're going to go. Yes, encouragement is great. It really is. However, picture doing the same thing with somebody that's starving to death. Keep at it. You're doing great. You'll get through this. I know you will. I've got faith in you. That's a great idea. But I'll guarantee they'll starve to death before that helps. Okay. Now, money does not bring happiness. Money is not the be-all and end-all, nor is it the root of all evil. But it is a requirement in today's world. As a matter of fact, it's always been a requirement, just money took on different forms. Personally, I find it easier to move a $10 bill around than I do to move a cow. Okay, and besides that, you got to look at how much you're going to feed that cow. Okay. Now, where it comes to, as far as I'm concerned, what I would like to see, I didn't know Maria when she started into this industry. Okay, I've only, like I said, known her for a couple of years now. Okay, but I have seen some remarkable advancement in her professionalism, in her technique. She is seeking out the right trainers. I'm leaving that all in her end. I mean, let's face it, I am not a fighter. I know very little about combat. Well, okay, I've had very little practical experience in it. If somebody wants to know how to get a book written effectively, I can tell you how to write one that you're content with. The marketing side I'm still working on. And yes, I will absolutely ask that you spread this and spread word. Okay, let people know that I'm out there because I did figure out something really neat. Now, like I said, this is only one of 7 books I've written. Okay, if you look at the bottom of this video and of any video that I do, okay, you'll find a whole list of books that I've actually got in print. Okay, the big one that I'm working at right now is this series. Okay, I've got 2 books out. Okay, well, I've got these 2 out already. Right. Number 3, I'm about halfway through writing. We've already started into final edit. The next one, which we're looking at the end of 2023, is already half written, and we're going to go to work on it right away. Okay, so with this in mind, okay, when it comes to your projects, like I said, pick a goal that you're aiming at for yourself. Now, you'll notice I was gaming today, okay, and all these figures that you're seeing on the desk, those all have to be put away. So as soon as I'm done this video, that will all be cleared up again. It is absolutely critical that you remember 2 major factors. Okay, I like the way it was put to me one day, probably 30 years ago, is when your heart can conceive. We'll try that again, shall we? When your mind can conceive it, and your heart can believe it, then you can achieve it. Okay, Maria came to this idea that she desired to get into this physical training thing somewhere along the line. I don't know exactly when, but somewhere along the line, she turned around and became, she turned around and got the bug and went, I'm heading for the top. Okay, now her mind conceived it, her heart believes it, and now she is on her way to actually achieving it. Okay, the same goes for you. This is what's happening with the Yldrbacian Chronicles. I came up with the idea, and here it is. Okay, it's in physical form. You can do exactly the same thing. Now, I'm going to leave this with you. I'll be back again tomorrow. But until then, take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sakes, stay positive.